Good morning, sir.
Good morning. So today we will continue with our previous section, which is non-woven fabrics. So we were here. So in our previous class, we have discussed about the classification of non-wovens. And as I told you earlier, the non-woven process is two-step process. One is web formation and another one is bonding. So here in web formation, we have three different laying techniques. So first one is polymer laying, polymer laid, then weight laying, and the process is weight laying, and the non-woven is called weight laid, and then we have dry laying, and the non-woven is called dry laid. So polymer laid, wet laid, and dry laid. Then again we have classifications like 3D webs and random webs and cross webs, parallel webs, composite webs. So these are the classification of web formation. Then we have another part which is bonding. So bonding is the process to uh, give strength to the non-woven fabric. So how we can provide strength to the non-woven fabric? This may be a stitching process, mechanical process, adhesive, thermal, or polymer. In case of mechanical process, we have further classification, spun laced or hydroentangled, and we have needle bunching. So in case of thermal, we have ultrasonic, infrared, thermal heating, oven heating, or calendaring. So most of the non-woven fabric which we are seeing in our market, which is used for packaging or bags, they are calendar. They are thermal, calendared, non-wovens. Then we have polymer. So it can be a melt blown, spun bonding, or electrospinning. So in melt blown, you can see whatever uh, face mask, 3-layer face mask we are using N95 or any other face mask with 3-layer. They are made up of melt blown and spun bonded. So melt blown, it is a uh, polymer extrusion process where we extrude the polymer through fine orifices, and then we bring them in contact of a hot air. So it is called melt blown. So the whatever melt is there, that is already in polymer melt is there, that is in melt condition, and we are also applying force of air. So they get more more fine. There is more drafting in filament. So the melt blown non-wovens are very fine, and the arrangement is also not in one direction. Means it is not directionally oriented. They are random oriented. So melt blown non-wovens, they give you better filtration properties. That's why we are using melt blown non-wovens in face mask. But the non-woven melt blown fabrics, they don't have strength. So what we are doing, we are backing these melt blown fabrics with spun bonded fabrics. So here there are two different polymer, non-woven, melt blown, and spun bonded. Spun bonded is the same. Uh, just what we are doing in the case of extrusion. In filament extrusion, we are extruding in a with a spinnerate in a size of, I mean, it is in a circular size, and with the fine orifice, we are extruding all the filaments, and then we are collecting them and drawing and other process we are doing. So this is filament, or you can say spinning. And this is in case of spun bonding. The same way, the extruder is there, but extruder is not limited to one area. It is not in a circular shape, but it is spread throughout the width of the machine. So what we are doing in case of spun bonding, we are extruding all these filament on a conveyor belt, and then we are collecting all these fibers on conveyor, and we are preparing non-woven fabrics. So this is the spun bonding process. And we also have electrospinning. So electrospinning means it is used for nano scale fiber uh, formation. So electrospinning, it is done with the help of high electrical force between the extruder and the surface. So this is another field where we can extrude filaments in size of nano meters. So here are the examples of non-woven products and their applications. So we have variety of application, as we have discussed earlier, in health and hygiene, wipes, medical and surgical, protective clothings, filtration, gas and liquid filtration, interlinings in garments, shoes, leather goods and coating substrates, upholsteries, furnitures and beddings, floor coverings, building and roofing, civil engineering and geosynthetics. These are the various application of non-woven fabrics. So in health and hygiene, baby diapers are there, and training pants. Adult incontinence pads, sanitary napkins, tampons, cosmetic removal pads, nasal strips, disposable underwears. So they all come in the category of hygiene. They all are non-woven fabrics. In wipes, we have disposable wipes, dry and pre-moisten. As I told you earlier, there are face wipes available. They are made of cotton, and with the help of hydro entangling, because hydro entangling process is a very it produce very soft uh, non-wovens. Therefore, we use uh, the water jets. Then we have dusters, dishcloths, mops. In medical and surgical, we have surgical swabs, wound dressings, surgical gowns, masks and caps, orthopedic casts. So my voice is audible to all of you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So in protective clothing, in medical, we have surgical gowns, masks and caps. So whatever we are saying nowadays, PPE kits are available, but the PPE kits, they are made of polymer sheet. But in most of the cases, they use non-woven surgical gowns. Mask, you already using mask and caps. They are non-woven caps are there. Orthopedic casts, surgical drapes, wraps and packs, uh,
क्या
transdermal drug delivery.
ये अनु सुन ना, ये बोरा है ना, बोरा 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 उसको पूछ के अंकल आपके पास पतले ना पतले.
In protective clothing, we have disposable clean room garments, laboratory overalls. In laboratories, we are using non-woven fabrics. Fire protecting linings means fire protecting clothing are there, and in the inner linings, we are using non-woven fabrics. Then for thermal insulation, fillings, high visibility clothing and chemical defense suits. Filtration for gas and liquid filtration, we have tea bags. Just like tea bag is it is a filter media. It will allow water or whatever tea, whatever water, hot water or milk is there. So it is allowing water or milk to go inside the bag, but it is not allowing uh, tea or coffee to come out from this bag. So uh, it is also like a filtration process. Drinks filtration, oil absorptions, industrial gas filtration, respiratory filters, and vacuum filters, bags, odor control. So all these are non-woven fabrics. Interlinings and garments, fusible interlinings and linings. So in garments, we are also using interlinings for our cuffs and collars. Shoulder pads. Shoulder pads are used mostly. They are used in suits, and glove linings. Shoes, leather goods and coating substrates, boots and shoes lining, synthetic leather, shoe uppers, shoe construction components, and luggage and bags. In upholsteries, ticking, mattress pads, weddings and fillings, sheets and blankets, windows blinds means nowadays in place of curtains we are using window blinds. They are also, most of them, they are also made up of non-wovens. Then we have quilt means rajai, what we are using in our winters, and dust covers. In floor covering, contract carpets and carpet tiles, underlays and carpet backing fabrics, automotive carpets and trims. So in automotive textiles also, for the insulation purpose or for uh, carpet purpose, we are using non-woven fabrics. In building, house wrap, thermal and sound insulation. So in India, the temperature goes high, up very high, but it doesn't go beyond the means it doesn't go beyond 0 degree. But in most of the in many of the countries which are in the northern part of our globe, so there the temperature is -40, -30, -20. So they are using non-woven fabrics for their thermal insulation. Then sound insulation is also there. If you go to any uh, thermal power plant or any genset is there in industry, so they are using sound insulation. For the sound insulation, we are using non-woven fabrics. Then we have roof linings, underslatings, and plasterboards, facings, pipe wraps for to insulate them, and then we have fabric tiles. In civil engineering and geosynthetics, we have landfills, membrane protectors, and drainage systems. So as I discussed earlier in the geosynthetics, so the for separation purpose or some for filtration purpose, in protection purpose, we are using non-woven fabrics. So in drainage system, lining system for reservoirs and ponds, erosion control and ground stabilization. So in all these applications, we are using non-woven fabric, and the applications are much more, but we have enlisted few of them. So as we were discussing earlier, so what is the orientation? Orientation means how the fiber is aligned in the non-woven structure or non-woven fabric. So here you can see there are two directions, just like we have in 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 our woven fabric. In woven fabric, we have warp and weft, but here we cannot mark that it is warp and weft. So here they have marked it just like a machine direction and cross machine direction. The machine direction is the direction where the non-woven fabric, it is flowing, means how it is coming out of the machine. So this is machine direction, and cross machine direction means the direction across the machine, which is the perpendicular or 90 degree to machine direction. So here we have only two direction, machine direction and cross machine direction. So machine direction is the direction where the fiber is, fabric is coming out. So this is called machine direction. So here is the fiber, you can see fiber over here. So we can mark a tangent to the fiber and perpendicular to this, and the angle is theta. So this is the angle of fiber. So how the fiber is aligned or oriented in the non-woven fabric. So we can measure from here. So theta is the angle of fiber. This is the fiber orientation angle. So if the fiber is more aligned towards the machine direction, then it is called parallel lead. And if the fiber is more aligned towards the cross machine direction, then it is called cross lead. So there are two different so there are two different kinds of webs, cross lead and parallel lead. So this depend on the direction of fiber. So here you can see the see a non-woven fabric, and you can see fibers over here. So you can see the fibers, they are not aligned in one direction, they are moving here and there, but we can measure the fiber orientation angle, and we can say that the web is parallel laid or it is cross laid. So in dry laying, as I told you earlier, drying laying is the process where we are processing fiber in carding, and then we are collecting the web, and with the help of cross laying or parallel laying or other process, we are preparing a sheet or preparing a bed of fibers. So the process is opening. So opening through carding, then we have opening in the earlier stage, and then we have mixing and blending. So if you want to prepare a blend non-woven, we can use different fibers, and previously first we have to open the tuft. The tuft opening is there with the help of hand, or if it is a large amount, then we can use some other techniques to open the tuft of the fibers. Then mixing and blending is there. Then we have carding. So you all know carding process. The carding plus cross lapping. So cross lapping is the process to prepare a bed. So whatever you are getting fine web from the carding, you are with the help of hunchback cross lapper or some other cross lapper, you can prepare a bed of fibers, means thick layers of non-woven or thick layer of fibers. And then we have a air laying technique. Air laying techniques means just like in our spinning lab, you must have seen there are pneumatic transportation system is there. With the help of air, we are transporting tuft of fibers from one place to another place. In a similar way, we have air laying technique where the fibers, they can be traveled through with the help of air, and then we collect all these fibers on a perforated drum. So this is a air laying technique. So here in air laying technique, the fiber direction is not clear, means most of the time the fibers, they are aligned in different direction. Therefore, it is called random laying. And then we have vertical lapping uh, for parallel laid fabrics. So you all know carding, but it is a different kind of carding machine. So here we have, just like in woolen. This is like a woolen card. So we have a big doffer and then cylinder, and we have worker and stipper. And there are two doffers are available. So with the help of carding, we are preparing web, and then we have. So it is a parallel web. This is a doffer, and you are collecting fibers from here, and this is the parallel web. So whatever web we are collecting from the carding, this is a parallel web. Now we have some condensers over here. So the web you are collecting here. So it is a fine web, but here we are using condensing rollers. So with the help of condensing roller, we can increase the thickness of web. And further, we have random web. So the fibers which are coming out of the carding machine, with the help of random rollers, we are changing the direction of fibers. So here are the random condensed web, and random rollers are there. So they are changing the direction of fibers. Cross-lapping process. So in cross-lapper, you can see here the fibrous web that is coming to this conveyor, and then we have another conveyor which is feeding web to the lower conveyor belt. So Punmaram, do you have any question? Punmaram, you have raised your hand. Do you have?
No, sir. No. Sir.
No.
गलती किया जाएगा.
Okay. So the fibrous web, we with the help of feed conveyor that is coming to the upper conveyor belt. Then with the help of upper conveyor belt, it is transferring to lower conveyor belt. Then we have a delivery conveyor. So delivery conveyor, this is moving in this direction, and when you are laying the layers, then this is the direction of layer. You can see the now it is here it is a parallel, but the direction has changed to 90 degree. So this is a cross lap, means the fibers they are arranged in cross machine direction. Therefore, it is called cross lapper. So this is air laying process. So how is it working? So here you are feeding the fibers and with the opening rollers, and then we have a big opening roller. This is a feed, this is a bat, or you can say lap of fibers. And then there are feed rollers. Then we have a main cylinder. So this is opening all the fibers. Then we have air blow. So the fibers they are being carrying by the main cylinder, and then you have air blower, and you are collecting all these fibers on a suction. With the help of suction, this is a suction, and with the help of conveyor belt, you are collecting all these fibers on a conveyor belt. So that's why you are producing a non-woven web with the help of air laying process. So what are the advantages and disadvantages of isotropic web? Or just I told you, if the direction of, if the fibers are oriented in one direction, then it is called isotropic web. If you have This is the means if the fibers they are randomly arranged, then it is called isotropic. Means the property of fabric is in all the direction is same. Then it is called isotropic. Just like in woven fabric. In woven fabric, the properties of fabric in all the direction are not same. Just like if you apply load, if you apply load in one direction, just like in warp direction, the load is different, waft direction load is different. If you apply load at 45-degree, then the load is entirely different. So they are not isotropic material, they are anisotropic material. Isotropic means the fabric property in all the direction are same. So three-dimensional structure, if the basis weight is over 50 gram per meter square, producing voluminous high loft structure with a very low density, compatibility with a wide variety of generic fiber type and including natural and synthetic and high performance fibers. So fabric uniformity is highly dependent on the fiber opening and visualization prior of the and air for regularity. So here they have mentioned about the what are the advantages and disadvantages of aid laying technique. So in the case of aid laying technique, whatever you are producing, that is a isotropic web. So in aid laying technique, because the direction of fibers, this is the fibers, they are not in one direction, they are available in all the direction, therefore they are called isotropic web. If the fibers they are aligned in one direction, then it is called anisotropic. So this is a true to perpendicular laid webs. As I told you earlier, it is three-dimensional. So here you have a web of fibers, and with the help of bar or with the help of some hammer, you are creating a three-dimensional shape of web. You can see over here, just like you are folding a fabric, they have folded non-woven fabric or web, and they have created the three-dimensional or very thick non-woven structure. So in the next class, we will discuss about the needle punching process. So do you have any questions regarding the non-woven processes? You can raise hand or you can ask directly. Or if you want to put your questions. So do you have any question?
Hello.
I'm not able to hear you. Can you write in chat box? Any questions?
Hello.
Hello?
Hello. Yes, sir.
हाँ पूछो. Hello? Somebody has asked questions. Okay, so no one. So Ayush, your question is if we are applying load on non-wovens, how the properties are not changing. So properties they can change. That the thing is the isotropic means you have properties. You have same properties in all the direction. Just like in woven fabric, if you apply load in warp direction, then the result will be different. If you apply load in weft direction, then the result will be different. If you apply load at 45-degree to either to weft or warp, then the property is different. So it is not an isotropic material. It is anisotropic material because the properties are different in the different direction. But if it is a non-woven. Just like non-woven, if you arrange fibers in non-woven fabric in different direction, if the structure is random, it means that the properties in different directions, they are same. So if the fibers are arranged in all the direction, then the property will be same in every direction. Whether if you want to, if you apply load in machine direction, if you apply load in cross machine direction, if you apply load at any angle of machine direction or cross machine direction, the property will remain same. It will show the same result in a different direction. That's why it is called isotropic material. All the non-wovens are not isotropic material. Only the random laid woven fabric, as I told you, in air laid fabric or in wet laid fabrics or in random laid fabrics, they show properties in same in the all direction. But in case of parallel laid structures or cross laid structures, they are anisotropic in nature. So all the non-wovens are not isotropic material. Only the air laid fabrics or wet laid fabrics or random laid fabrics, they show isotropy. They are only isotropic material. Okay. Any other question? So in woven structure, we have plain. The next question is from Kshitija. She is asking that in woven fabrics we have twill, satin, and plain weave. Uh, the same way, do we have any weave or some structures in non-wovens? So in non-wovens, we don't have any a plain twill and satin like structure because there is no interlacement of fibers or filaments or yarns. So there is no plain twill satin system. But in non-woven fabric, we have arrangement of fibers. You can arrange fibers in cross machine direction. You can arrange fibers in machine direction. You can arrange fibers in all direction. Whatever way you like, you can arrange your fibers. So you can also regulate your thickness, how much thickness you need. Or you can arrange GSM, means gram per square meter. If you want that I want to prepare a non-woven fabric with the 200 GSM, then you have to reduce the number of layers. If you want to produce a non-woven fabric with the help of 600 1200 GSM, then you can increase the number of layers. So this way you can produce non-woven fabrics. And again, we have different bonding processes. So just like needle punching we have, and hydroentangling we have, and thermal and thermal bonding we have. So we have different bonding techniques. So with the help of chemical, mechanical, or thermal means, we can bind all these fibers. So just like in needle punching, we can produce high GSM fabric, whether in other cases we cannot produce. So the structures are available. In non-woven, we have variety of structures. Needle punch non-woven fabric is there, spun bonded is there, and your hydroentangling is there, and the stitching is there. So we have different structures, but they are not like twill, satin, or plain weave. So there is no concept of weave over here. Any other question? And in the previous class, I didn't get any attendance. So Himanshu is there. If Himanshu can send me attendance of all the students on my WhatsApp or my Gmail. Any other questions? Any other question?
सर चैट बॉक्स में लिखा है ना
Yes.
चैट बॉक्स में लिखा है तो सर
Chat box में तो कुछ नहीं आया. Okay, in cross lapping technique, how? Okay. uh, in cross-lapping technique, how the direction is instantly changed to 90 degree and the web does not break. So it is a continuous process. It is not like uh, uh, we are breaking the continuity of web. So how we are laying? So the laying process, you can see the web is coming directly from the carding, and then we are laying it with the help of hunchback process is there, and